Welcome one and all to another edition of the Defo Show with Lubie here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, brought to you by Water Cleanup of Florida. Leaks be damned, I say, now that I know and have worked with Water Cleanup of Florida. They did an amazing job on my wife and my former townhouse, allowing us to get it in tip-top shape where we just sold it, in large part to the work of Water Cleanup of Florida. We had a leak that turned into something bigger, and we took too long to take care of it. Do not fall prey to what my wife and I did. When you see something that may be a leak, act fast. Water Cleanup of Florida will take care of it for you. 954-579-0356, 24/7, 365. They are available to you. Give them a call. They will answer that call and come out and help you. They'll dry the leak. They'll repair it. They'll take care of it. And because of their licensed contractors, insured, certified contractors, they will make it look brand new. One place to get the job done. Who knew? It does exist. Water Cleanup of Florida. Again, give them a call. 954-579-0356. Check them out on the website, wcufl.com. Plus, Google. Take my word for it. But if you want further evidence, with over 70 5-star reviews on Google, Water Cleanup of Florida is the place you want to go for any and all water issues. Don't let leaks turn into something bigger than they need to be. Water Cleanup of Florida will take care of that for you. Again, 954-579-0356. If you have the schmutz, they have the guts. The Miami Dolphins had the guts yesterday at the trade deadline, making a huge splash, shoring up their pass rushing inequities and inabilities, making that hopefully a strength. And the Miami Heat went out there on the court versus the Golden State Warriors and showed lots of guts as they have struggled out the gate. Well, the defending champions limped to the finish. The Miami Heat finished strong and got a big victory. Now it's sitting 3-5. We talked with one of the, if not the preeminent sports columnists of South Florida, Dave Hyde, today about the Heat and the Dolphins right here on the Defo Show with Lubie on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Always great to get the insight of Dave Hyde, the preeminent columnist in South Florida, and been with the South Florida Sun-Sentinel for many, many years now, outlasting virtually everybody except Ira Winderman, who will be covering the Heat even after he is deceased. I don't know that Dave's going to go all in on that, but doing a great job. Has a book out now with Jimmy Johnson called Swagger. And Dave, welcome to the show. You already, I don't know if this is the same as being touted by the literary critic of the New York Times and maybe being somewhere like number 3 on the bestseller list. But John Congemi got a copy of the book down at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill over the weekend, and he says it is a dynamite must-read. So if you want to put out any of the PR quotes, you can put dynamite must-read John Congemi, and for whatever that's worth. But welcome to the show, and congratulations. Everybody says the book's going to be a hit.
I'd like to put that on the back cover. Dynamite must read.
Exactly.
John Congemi. Yeah, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
I mean, we know John, and obviously he has some level of notoriety, having played quarterback in the footsteps of Marino at Pitt. Did a good job there. Went on to a pro career. He's all over TV. But I don't know that, it's the same thing as having Obama endorsed the book, or Michelle Obama
we'll take all positive words. We'll take. So it's a lot of fun to do. It's a lot of fun to roll out. It's about to explode in Dallas as an excerpt's going to run tomorrow, and it's all over talk radio there. So with Jimmy and Jerry and all that stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Jimmy and I are giving a talk at the Miami Book Fair in a couple of weeks, and so it's I got done writing it about 5 months ago. So this is now comes the fun part of it, just talking about it.
How juicy is this stuff on Jimmy and Jerry?
Well, let's put it this way. For years, Jerry Jones has been saying, he was in on all the football deals. He had, he's been quoted as saying when they got to Dallas, Jerry said that I've been making deals all my life, and Jimmy hadn't made a deal ever. And the insinuation is he was involved in the football. And so Jimmy lays out his contract. It's in the book saying he has full control over football, which it became topic when it hit, about a week or two ago when the book started to start circulating a little, and a talk show host in Dallas read the whole chapter over the air. So I mean, it's juicy enough for that.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, you have a blowhard billionaire who obviously relishes the spotlight, and a guy who is already well accomplished in the football business, having won a national championship. And as he says when we talk to him, and it's true, everywhere he was, he left the place far better than it was when he got there. Whether it was Oklahoma State, whether it was Miami or the Dallas Cowboys, where, and I love when he points this out, even Switzer was able to win a championship. So, it sounds like really good stuff, and looking very much forward to it. And there is conversation, Dave. You'll appreciate this. And I don't know what your social calendar looks like. Obviously, very busy with a lot of different things going on in the promotion of the book. But we will be down at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill sometime, I'm going to say, like about 2 weeks from now. And hopefully you'll be able to join us, at least in some fashion, for that conversation, which would be great.
Yeah, have your people talk to my people, and we'll set up a date. Oh,
I'll have Lubie text you.
Yeah, just have Lubie call me.
All right, let's get to it. Lubie and I are in dispute today. I mean, it's the old glass half full, glass half empty. I look at these transactions the Dolphins made yesterday. They go for Bradley Chubb there. They give up a first-round pick, one of the many first-round picks they had accumulated when they were tanking and or in transition prior to this season. And this draft capital, I don't mind it being used on veteran players. A lot of people would say, well, geez, what did you were going to get younger and build a foundation for the future, and now you're going after guys that, may even walk after their first year here with the team. But I'm thinking Chris Greer, who, we had nothing particularly flattering to say about this guy's tenure as a GM, where we really thought, wow, this guy is in the I'm your puppet category. I mean, I thought he was completely ineffective. Made lousy draft picks if he was in charge of that, and really hadn't done much to put together what you would think would be a winning team. And now all of a sudden he looks like the executive of the year. Lubie says this is just to cover up his draft mistakes that he had to make this move. So what did you think about it? I mean, it's an aggressive move. Most Dolphin fans, that I saw in terms of social media response are overwhelmingly in favor of what happened with this team just yesterday at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I love the move. I mean, it says, it shores up a strange issue, because Emmanuel Ogbah got the big contract last offseason and hasn't, he has one sack so far. The pass rush hasn't been there. And part of that's Byron Jones as cornerback hasn't been there. So they, before they would have both cornerbacks could cover one-on-one and free up the pass rush. But I just love the move. I look, they wasted 3 years setting this up, okay? The 3 years they said we're going to lose, we're going to be bad, we're going to build draft capital. Now they have a 2-year window before all those draft picks or the contracts start coming due. Yep. The big one, obviously, the big decision will be Tua. What do they give him the $250 million contract that quarterbacks are getting now? No decision has to be made now, but certainly by the end of next season, they'll have to have decided. And so they have a window before they start paying that big money, and this is when they have to go for it. So I love the move in that regard.
Well, look, and I wasn't negative about the move. The move was great. We literally were just talking about it yesterday. They need to get a pass rush. They need offensive linemen, which they've always needed, but they need to get a pass rush. And you go and get the guy that's probably the best pass rusher available on the trade deadline, just like they did with the best offensive lineman on the free agency market. So I'm all in on that. My second reaction was, if you're Jalen Phillips, if you're Ogbah and Ingram, what does this say about you? And if you're Greer, people are crowing about Greer. Well, he spent draft picks and made free agent signings for rushers. So, he now has to give a first-round pick for an edge rusher. I get it. It's a great position to have extras, but this isn't extra. Chubb is going to save their ass. To me, it's a great move. It's a needed move, but it shouldn't have, like you just said, it shouldn't have been needed for the money you spent on Ogbah, the pick you used on Phillips, and then the extra money you spent on Ingram.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been needed, but it is. So if you're Chris Greer, do you say, oh, these guys, they better work out, or do you say it's not working out? And again, we have this window, we got to win.
Yeah.
before the big money comes due, and you say, I better go out and get somebody, and he did. And look, they've had so many draft picks, and they have so many players that, I don't have any problem with them trading a draft, even though it's expensive. It was a little more expensive than I thought. You look at what Roquan Smith went for. Now, different player, linebacker, tackler, not a pass rusher, but this is what it costs to play at this level. Look what the Rams did last year. Von Miller, second and third round pick, and they rented him for half a year. He goes to Buffalo, signs a big contract. That's sort of the cost you got. Now, Chubb's going to sign here. You don't give up a first round. I'm sure they. I know they were going to talk to Chubb or his agent and hash out, the outline of a deal just so they're on the same page. And he'll sign a deal here and be here for a while.
You have to love this aspect of it, and I'm sure you're getting some feedback from the many readers in the Sun Sentinel and all of the online stuff that you do, Dave Hyde. But Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I mean, that's as exciting a tandem. I thought this going into the season. I was very optimistic that even if the team wasn't overwhelmingly good, even if they missed the playoffs, at least they were trending towards being exciting again. And Mike McDaniel is doing a great job of orchestrating the offense to feature these two guys. And all of a sudden, Tua has made a giant ascent to where, we even mentioned it today. Is it possible that, we don't always have to reference the fact that they blew it by not taking Justin Herbert?
Their offense was explosive. It's been explosive. It was in Detroit last weekend. It was the second half. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
It was the second half against Baltimore. So you've seen good stretches of what this offense wants to be, and if they can keep everybody on the field together, moving forward, you hope that it comes together consistently, and that's really the issue. Between Tua's injuries, between Armstead has been out, you want them to get the consistent, because you see what Tyreek Hill can do. I mean, he's the MVP of the team, might be the MVP. I don't know if you can go with the league with Geno Smith doing what he's doing in Seattle, but he's certainly in the conversation. And I just talked to Duper and Clayton about these two.
Oh, cool.
And it's interesting what they had to say, and I'll be putting that in the column coming. I was actually writing it yesterday when the trade was made. I had to switch off to that, but and this is look. There's the talent on the team and the offense, and McDaniel knows how to use it. And Tua's starting. I'm not gonna. It was a great game against Detroit. It was a great second half against Baltimore. They can't play like that all the time. But if they can get more to that than say the previous week, that how they were against Pittsburgh is really what you're looking for. Now, can you go into Buffalo and play in the cold there? Can that offense work there? With the wind and all of that. That'll be. These are things. The questions that have come up now when you make a deal like for Bradley Chubb, you're saying we think we can win.
The Melendez didn't have as good a high wire act as these two guys do, and they're very tough-minded receivers also, especially for smallish guys by the the size, the prototype of the position. But and there was always that thinking that we need like Devontae Parker, a big, strong, strapping guy, and we see those kind of receivers having immense amount of success in the league. But for a pair of kind of Smurfs like Clayton and Duper were. These guys are very entertaining to watch, and if your team is not going to win a championship, at least be entertaining. We've been saying that for years, and it seems like it's trending in that direction. All right, switching things up, we have Dave Hyde here, extraordinary columnist for the South Florida Sun Sentinel, and co-author of the book with Jimmy Johnson, Swagger, that is in publication and ready to go out there and be available to virtually everybody, and drawing rave reviews from all around the country and the globe. Warriors in town last night to take on the Miami Heat. Heat off to a 2-5 start. Pivotal game, I think, in the early portion of the Heat season. And they're down 8 going into the fourth quarter. And then they kind of, I guess Tyler Hero was injured in the game. I saw he only played 9 minutes, had 2 points. But And one of the other things, though, with this Heat culture, Duncan Robinson, who was given up for dead after signing a giant contract and was relegated, I think he was behind UD on the bench in terms of minutes. But in typical Heat fashion, with no controversy, negativity, no ugliness coming out in the press, when called into action last night because a hero's injury ends up at 17 points. And I think that's one of the remarkable things about the franchise. I mean, there's certainly a distant departure from what's going on in Brooklyn right now.
Yeah, Max Strus had a big game. The interesting thing I watched the second half was Golden State was into it. Yep. Steph Curry was, he's throwing fists up in the air after shots and celebrating going down the court, and so they were into it. It looked like they were getting the A game from Golden State.
Yep.
Now the question is, was that just one night for the Heat, or does it give some confidence and get a lot of things that were up in the air about the team, get things aligned a little better, and they can build off that. Because it looked like they had something going there in the fourth quarter.
Well, and they closed it out. Jimmy Butler with a little jump shot off one of his typical moves, and cans it to put the Heat up 5, which was the final dagger. Golden State did get a little ugly there at the very end of the fourth quarter. They missed a bunch of threes, including Steph Curry.
Yeah,
who I guess the rebounds would be the problem, but I was surprised to see that he only had 10 triple doubles in his career because, you're thinking he's always getting double digits in points and probably in assists. So. But it's not like he's Jason Kidd, I guess, on the boards. But a good ball game all the way around, very entertaining. Once again, if that's what you're looking for out of sport, and very enjoyable to watch and huge. I mean, the difference between, in my opinion, 2-6 and 3-5 after beating Golden State with the Kings in town tomorrow night, you start to gather some momentum and look like the team that should easily, or not easily, but in all likelihood, win their division and become maybe fourth, fifth, sixth seed possibly in the Eastern Conference.
Yes, I am negative in a sense about the move. Not because of the move. I think the Bradley Chubb move was great. I think what they gave up wasn't the dream, but he's a first-round caliber pass rusher. His issue's been health, but he's young. He's 26. He's going to get a deal. You have Phillips on a rookie contract. You pair them together. Great. But it is funny to me, you brought in Ingram, who had some success early in the season. You had Phillips, who had a really good rookie campaign. Agba had a really good year last year. You kept him. Yeah, more pass rushers, the better. But right now, they need corners. Byron Jones may be done for the year. He hasn't played at all. Brandon Jones, the safety, who actually was a surprise, is done for the year. Javon Holland it was really good, but he can't do everything. Xavier Howard's dealing with an injury, so he's not himself. The Kohu, whatever, the undrafted free agent rookie who's played really well. But again, they need secondary guys. But pass rush is a big deal in this league, and they don't have it. Jalen Phillips has not been good so far. Agba's been nowhere to be found. And Ingram has had flashes, but he's not been consistent. They needed to go get a pass rusher. So getting Chubb was great. But they shouldn't have had to need that. And that was my sort of issue, where it's sort of glaring a light on those three guys. Yeah, Phillips, you'll pair a young dude with another young dude in Chubb, and that's great. But they really could use offensive linemen and corners. However, because of their glaring deficiencies at the edge positions, they had to go and get Chubb. It was a good move. It should help them greatly. It does make them in that conversation for top 4 seeds in the AFC, which right now they're right just outside of that. So I'm impressed by that. I'm glad they made the move. It is a little funny that, again, they accrued all these draft picks to go get young talent. The young talent has been hit or miss, so they now have to use the draft picks to go and get proven talent. And they did that. Look, Jalen Waddle was a part of the draft pick, and he so far has been proven. Tyreek Hill is top 3 receiver in the league, and he's actually having a career year. For a guy that's already a top 3 receiver in the league, having a career year with the Miami Dolphins. And now Bradley Chubb is also a part of those draft picks, and he's a guy that's been proven as long as he's healthy. Good move for the Dolphins. Miami Heat have struggled out the gate. We're 2-5. A little frustrating. Take on the Warriors, who have also sort of struggled themselves. But last night's game sort of felt like a playoff game in a sense, where both teams early in the season that have championship aspirations came out playing tough. You saw Steph Curry at the end of the game fist pumping when Klay Thompson's hitting threes. You saw their defense throwing their body all over the place. You saw Jimmy Butler finish the game strong. Duncan Robinson come out of nowhere to have a strong game. Tyler Hero got hurt early. but looked pretty good before he got hurt. Kyle Lowry actually played pretty well, and you saw the Miami Heat go toe-to-toe with the defending champions and take a huge victory. Look, it's early in the year, but the way the season was sort of sputtering, that was a kind of the day after Jimmy Butler talks about, we're still going to win the title. They went out there, came together, and that was a really nice win for the Miami Heat, now sitting 3-5 and welcoming the Kings to town, who just beat them for their first victory. Let's see if the Heat can give just desserts back to the Kings. If you want some breakfast, you can do that with us each and every morning, 7 to 9. The Defo Show with Lubie on South Florida Live. Just look up right here on YouTube, South Florida Live, The Defo Show with Lubie, or Google South Florida Live or The Defo Show with Lubie. Check us out on our national podcast. We talked with South Florida film icon Billy Corbin on the Believe Network. Check out his new film, God Forbid, that's now out now on Hulu. We had our conversation with the great Corbin man on the Believe Network, BLEAV.com. Search After Hours. That's up right now. And check us out most days with our South Florida content right here. The Defo Show with Lubie on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Show with Lubie.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. Since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of Old School. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapist, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people, there is truly only one place, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.